Hey you, it's Adam over at IFI Motivation, and today we're in Athens, Georgia with hashtag Jamie Tall and my friend Brandy. Say what's up, Brandy.
What's up, Brandy?
Where are we? We're at the Divas
Who Win Freedom Center.
Divas Who Win Freedom Center. It's a beautiful place. It's a 2-story place to where they provide services. It's excessively intriguing thus far on my mission to speak with like-minded individuals regarding recovery. And so me and Brandy are going to spend a couple times because she has a tight agenda today. So Jamie behind the microphone and camera.
Hi.
Jamie Tall. Make sure y'all subscribe on YouTube. What are we going to talk about today?
So, Brandy, tell us about how you became a mom in recovery.
Well, that's a big story to tell, but I'll try to give the quick snapshot. So I'm a person that aged out of the system, in and out of institutions myself. Birth mother was in a girls' home whenever she got pregnant with me. Fast forward, when my little sister was 13 years old, our birth mother had lost her. I took care of her for a couple years, realized that she needed more services than I could provide for her. Fast forward a few years later, I start a recovery residence aiming to open a women and children's program. That's not what God saw fit. I ended up opening a very large men's program. And I found a lot of what's called NIMBY, not in my backyard. Your people need help, but not in my neighborhood.
I love it. I've never heard the analogy.
And so looking in 6 different counties in Northeast Georgia, while I was living in Athens, I got a lot of doors slammed in my face. So, and one of the properties was on Prince Avenue that was not able to get into. After ARC had been open for a few years, was still actively working on opening a women's program, and simultaneously, while it was the 3rd time trying to get into that Prince property here in Athens, that we got it under contract, and simultaneously I was going back and forth to Texas, and I got emergency guardianship of my 3-day-old niece.
Wow.
My little sister aged out of the system, homeless.
Now, when you say
drugs.
aged out of the system, what does that mean for the viewers that don't know?
So aged out of the system can look a few different ways. For her, she was in Department of Children and Family Health Services.
Okay, so DCF.
And
DCF
for me, it was that and the juvenile justice system and
DJJ.
Yeah. So they just pretty much released her out onto the streets, and so she'd been living in tents and severe mental illness on top of everything else. And so that for her was primary. So it got emergency. I actually picked up my niece from the hospital, brought her back to Georgia. And the month that we finally was closing the deal, it was February of 2019. I got permanent full custody of my niece. And so at that point in time, I finally realized where I'd never been able to open up the Women's Center before is because God was still preparing my heart to know what it was like to be a mother and to be a part of a family.
Wow.
And to not only love somebody unconditionally, but to experience love myself for the first time unconditionally. She's so forgiving. I'm happy to say that I have a hearing date set for September 22nd to where I will actually legally become her mommy and adopt her.
Wow, that's cool.
And something happened just a week and 1 day ago.
Okay.
You know, that goal of originally years and years ago, when I first got out of prison, of wanting to open a women and children's program, and then opening a men's program, and then opening a women's program where their children couldn't come with them. And then we realized just yesterday, out of all of our residents, there's 111 children that are having the opportunity to have their mommies.
111 children
that are having the opportunities to have their mommy and or daddy back. And of those 111, 2 of them live on one of our properties with their mother that has successfully completed our foundation program. It's a minimum of 12 months.
Wow, that's
so
incredible.
We finally have our women and children's program.
Wow, that's incredible, Brandy. You know, here in Georgia, they offer such a vast array. I've only spent a very short time with Brandy. You could clearly see that she's touched by her movement. No different than when I was on the phone with Jeff earlier. I was exceptionally touched by the movement up here. And I can just relate, you know, down where I'm at, it's your mommy's dead, your daddy overdosed, you know, and we gotta change that, man. In Florida, we gotta erase this stigma. We gotta I'm not saying let's find what is right or let's find what is wrong, but let's find what works. You know what I mean? Like, they offer so many different services here. I'm sitting here talking with all these amazing people here, and it's mind-blowing. Like, I'm gonna go back to where I'm from, and I can't wait to get back here, kind of thing, so that we can continuously grow our reach to help everyone in the recovery community.
You see up there, so there's some of the different services that are offered here at Divas Who Win. They have a Sex, Love, and Addiction Anonymous.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Anonymous.
This
They
is
do
the one we were
massage,
talking about.
community meditation, a
This is
virtual
crazy.
prayer,
I mean,
MAT, all recovery. That's medically assisted treatment.
Right.
There's many pathways to recovery.
There's a bunch of pathways, and we challenge you to find yours, family. Well, anything else, Brandy, before we get you out on your busy day? I know you like
Follow
the shirt.
hashtag Jamie Tall.
Make sure you subscribe.
Awesome, guys. This is the great recovery collaboration. We're so excited. ARC, Brandy, and of course, Adam Armstrong, IFI Motivation.
This is IFI.
Bye.